Hello YouTube world, Liam the Death Doom Metalhead. I'm doing my part 2 of the UK underground death metal series, what we're calling the new wave of British death metal. This video series is basically trying to tell everyone about new UK bands in the death metal world, may it be doomy, death metal, black metal, slash death metal, you know, all that kind of mixed up, but the core of it is death metal. These are all UK bands that hopefully you've never checked out before, and watching this video you'll go check them out, support them, and you know, my job is done. So, without further ado, the first band is based out in Manchester. They are a two-piece. I believe it's masterminded by a chap called Sam Robertson, and also features the bass player from Cryptic Shift, who goes by the name of John Riley. I'm going to use my notes over there, so if you see me looking, that is why. So this is a 2021 release through Dry Cough Records. The band is called Fiend, and this is their debut, Echoes from the Cistern. Hopefully I pronounced that right. So, completely new to me, this band this year. They were formed roughly, I think, around maybe last year, so quite a new band. And yeah, for a two-piece, this is incredible. Got a live drummer on it as well, so it's not programmed drums, all live. And it's amazing, absolutely love it. So this is more in the vein of esoteric slash early Paradise Lost to me, the very, very early Paradise Lost. So it's got that kind of vibe to me, but more in the esoteric vibe, especially with the acoustic passengers and the atmospheric stuff that's put on here to kind of give it that doom edge. But then they'll come in with some really chunky heavy metal or heavy death metal riffs, and yeah, it's superb, absolutely love it. So this is already on its second pressing, being out not that long, it's that popular. My version is this one. Another band where I missed the beat of getting the t-shirt because I'm a cheapskate, you know, and I live to regret it, because the artwork is really cool. And yeah, I love it, absolutely love it. Picture of the dudes in there. And Dry Cough Records, if you've never heard of them, that is a Manchester based underground label that just put out some absolute stellar releases. So one I buy through regularly as well, really cool label. But yeah, firmly on my radar now, so I'm hoping they'll do something else, or even start doing some gigs if they can get a live band together, because this is absolutely superb. Really enjoying this. So yeah, go check out some Fiend, you will not regret that. Next one is a three-piece from Hull. Now Hull in Yorkshire is famous for two things in my head. One being how they've mixed up bread and cakes, and they have something on their menu called bread cakes, as well as being a place where apparently the best chip spice in the world can be purchased. So the band I'm talking about is a three-piece called Bonetar. This is their only output, which is an EP put out in 2019. This is a Brutal Cave Productions release. I believe before that it was only a digital release, and this is amazing. So the artwork will kind of give you the idea this is going to be kind of death metal related, obviously, but this to me, it's not doomy at all, nothing like that. This is pure, you know, when Napalm Death had those kind of death metal inspired albums, not the grindcore stuff, the more death metal thing. It's got that vibe to me. The vocals are insane, all in your face, and the drumming is just fucking brutal. Absolutely brutal. The kick, the snare, the ping on it is superb. It just kicks you square in the bollocks. It's really intense for a three-piece. Very much, like I say, grindcore inspired, but it's very death metal. So we could say brutal death metal, I guess is the terminology for it. But it features the drummer John Rusforth, who's in Hellbastard from Newcastle, but it was also in Gore Rotted, as well as many, many other death metal bands. And his drumming just kind of cements this as just an intense listen. It's just so fucking, the ping on the snare, just listen to the ping on the snare and you'll see what I mean. And the kick drum, the lot, it's got the whole lot. But yeah, absolutely killer release. Only 3 tracks, not sure what they're doing at the moment. But Hull, I mean, I've got a good friend who comes from Hull, and he's a bit primitive, so it kind of fits in with the vein of what this band sound like as well. So I kind of imagine if I went there, this is what most people in death metal would be playing. Very primitive, nasty sounding death metal. So go check out some Bonetar if you haven't. Quality EP there. Next one is another EP that was put out, I think either 2019 or just before that. This is almost like a supergroup, this band. Features 3 members from Cryptic Shift, and that is Slimelord. Now this EP is amazing. This is, I guess, like, you know, Blood Incantation have Spectral Voice to kind of do their death doom stuff. The same with Cryptic Shift, being a progressive death metal band. The 3 members from Cryptic Shift being in this band, they're doing Death Doom. So this is a strictly Death Doom release, very slow, very heavy, very atmospheric. And I only discovered these guys this year, and it was a blind buy, just based off the reputation that I was going to like it. And yeah, spot on. And luckily I'll be seeing these guys in September when they come down to London, so I'm making the journey up there to go and check these guys out, as well as a few others. And I'm really excited because this is absolute superb stuff. Again, doomy death metal with a slime element based off the name, and it's just absolutely killer. Can't recommend it enough. It's got that kind of murky quality to it, and the artwork is amazing. The band look a bit funky there as well. So I say Leeds-based band, solid stuff. So go check these guys out if you haven't. Now, I must mention, in the UK, being in the underground now that I'm kind of, as I've got older, I'm more and more into the heavier stuff. I like to kind of explore the bands that don't get talked about in magazines. And I buy underground zines, and I'm always left a bit disappointed that it's not really what I want to see in an underground zine. But here in the UK, we now have Charred Zine. Now this is masterminded by Ezra, who is, I think, either the live guitarist or a full-time member now in the band Vacuous in London. He's also an illustrator, and he's done his own underground death metal zine. And I was 100% involved in this. I did not think there was any reason why I wouldn't like it, and I wasn't disappointed. All the bands mentioned there I love, so you know, when I saw this being advertised and you could buy it, I jumped straight in on it, because it's something that I never grew up with, because obviously being born in the late 80s, the 90s, and I discovered metal in the 2000s, stuff like this didn't exist for me. And you see in the American tape distros and American labels, they all have this kind of underground scene that you just don't get in the UK. It's there, but it's nowhere near as big as it could be. And Ezra is doing something really cool where he's kind of incorporating that old school aesthetic of death metal, but done with hand-drawn drawings. You know, nothing's done with a computer here, generated wise. Old school feeling, you know, how you used to scribble down skulls when you were younger, like I used to. He's done that, but obviously way better quality than I ever could. And it's just an absolute superb zine. You know, it's got really cool bands. It's got Vacuous in there before he joined. It's got an interview there with Ryan from Gurgling Gore, and there's an interview about Seep as well as the label. He's got an interview with Pharmacist, a really cool kind of death grind band from Japan. He's got him on there, you know, just little things like that, and the way he's got the borders with all the maggots and the skulls. I love all that. And then his interviews with what was it? Let's find it. Cryptworm, another really cool band I need to feature in this video. Yeah, absolutely superb. And it's also got some weird bits in it as well, like recipes done by other musicians. So there's one for goulash, and there's one in there for an IPA as well, which is quite cool. So yeah, and there's like little, I think it's like, what do they call it? You know what I mean, where you can scan for the recipe. But he's also featured bugs, which was interesting. I'm not a bug guy myself, but it was a cool read. And he's illustrated the bug as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the second version if it comes out. I hope it does, because it was really, really cool. And anyone who's into the kind of underground zines or wants to get into them, issue 1 exists. And this came with a illustration by Rusted Winds, a really cool underground American death metal illustrator. So that was really nice to have. I've got that on my wall back there. He sent me a nice little note, personal note to say thank you. So go check out Ezra's page. I'll leave links to his Instagram and where you can buy this, because it's totally worth your money if you want to support some underground death metal. Right, next is a band from Scotland in Edinburgh, but I believe the guy who's masterminded by this originally came from Greece, and that is the band Chestcrush. Now this is the debut full length, which I cannot pronounce, so I will obviously have it down there so I don't embarrass myself any further. Now this is self-released from the guy himself. It's a 3-piece band, I believe. I think there's a session drummer and he has a vocalist called Thomas, but let me make my notes right. So Evangelos, don't want to pronounce your name wrong, mate. I've been speaking to him for a little while now on Instagram since I purchased this, and kind of showed my support to the band, and he kind of messaged me out of the blue to say, you know, I watch your videos, really cool that you're checking this out. Now I originally heard from Ken over at Ken's Death Metal Crypt. He has the EP, which I knew nothing of, and I've completely missed out on that now. On tape format anyway. I know you can get it on a CD, but when the full length was announced, I jumped on it straight away. And being a self-release, it amazes me because this is amazing. Now he's done it with a slipcase for the tape. I think there's a few colours you can get for the tape as well. And what's really cool is this was recorded or tracked mostly in his living room during the pandemic last year. So all the guitars on here you hear are all done by him, the bass is done by him, the lyrics are written by him. Then he's obviously got a drummer involved and then a vocalist to kind of give it that final touch. Now this is death metal, but the vocal style is like a screamy black metal style from the 90s, and then there's some guttural stuff thrown in, and it really gives it a unique dynamic. The guitars are very lowly tuned, very messy sounding, and the tone, it's not a clean tone, it's very dirty. It's got a HM2 smidge in there, and it's very crusty, and it has elements of deathcore in there, but not the shit kind of deathcore that I can't stand. More the anger and the hatred that comes from deathcore, not the bouncy stuff or the gang vocals, none of that. More the anger and the intensity of it. And to me, this is going to probably feature quite highly at the end of the year for me, just for how unique this sounds as a death metal album. Because there's no album you'll get this year that sounds like this guy. You know, this band. You won't find anything like it. It's just so raw, intense. It's got some sound bites in there that are just awesome. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. And it was a blind buy again. Wasn't expecting anything crazy. But just the way it's recorded and the production on it is very, very, very good considering how he recorded it. And it surprised me when he kind of gave me the details of what's on this album, because there's some little hidden secrets in there that I won't, reveal. But again, amazing, and another band that I missed out on the t-shirt because I'm a cheapskate. So I'll leave links to his Bandcamp. You can go and check it out because it is awesome. And a band that I will be looking at further, and hopefully one day we'll see a live version of them somewhere soon. So that's Chestcrush. Next is a band from Leeds. This is their 2021 EP that has gained a lot of traction, very, very popular, and this is a pressing that I have that was just kind of found in the back room somewhere. And this is Mortuary Spawn. We've spawned from the Mortuary. Now this has done the rounds across the States, and it's sold out everywhere in the UK as well. I was lucky the band had some spare sleeves. They printed, I think, 20 or so tapes, 20 or 30 or so tapes. So my version is just this clear one here. So when this band become millionaires, I'm going to be minted because this will sell for an absolute fortune, hopefully. But yeah, absolutely killer band, death metal, very new band as well. And I believe their first gig was not too long ago, opening for Demolic, which is a Finnish death metal band. If you've never heard of them. So that was really cool to hear, and these guys are again playing in London in September, and I will be there to go and check them out because I really like what they do. So if you've never checked out Mortuary Spawn, well worth your time. This EP or demo, I don't know what they call it, it's very raw sounding, it's very primitive, it's not flush or high-end recording, it's very dirty, old school sounding death metal. I absolutely love it, so go check these guys out because it's really, really killer. And lastly, to kind of tail this video off, is a band from Scotland again. Most people, I've shown this album a few times now, and it's just absolutely stellar. This is the debut EP from the Coffin Mulch. There you go. Septic Funeral, out this year through their own label, At War with False Noise. I believe the vocalist runs that label. I could be wrong again, don't quote me. And yeah, the artwork was what sold it for me. Saw this online as old school death metal, death doom, those kind of tags. I looked at the artwork and I thought, I don't even need to listen to a note of it. I know I'm going to enjoy it, and I do. I really, really do. Very, very catchy, very messy, horrible sounding death doom. Vocals, you could barely understand the word he's saying. Loads of reverb on it, so it sounds like it's just been recorded and played in a cavern, and the noise is just kind of travelling up to the surface. It's just insane. Very, very heavy. HM2 driven as well, so if you're a fan of that sound, there's fucking tons of it on here. And the band are killer. Absolutely killer band. I'd love to play with these guys because I think there's so many good death doom bands now in the UK. These guys are right up there as well, so it'd be cool to see them live or even play with them. And yeah, absolutely superb. So if you've never checked out Coffin Mulch, I'm sure you probably have because I've talked about these loads. So if you're a long time viewer, you'll already know about them. But if you're new to this video and checking it out for the first time, can't recommend this enough. I even have this on tape, so I don't wear this version out. Probably need to get it on CD so I don't wear the tape version out, because it's killer, absolutely killer. So if you never checked out Coffin Mulch, strongly do, because you know, I mean, it's already on its second or third press now. It's been that popular, both sides of the country and the world even. You know, America's sold out everywhere when this came out as well. I was lucky when I was buying mine, I was able to get the kind of reggae press they did, but I had to like do it while I was shopping, because you know, it just kind of went straight away. So Coffin Mulch, go check them out. And that is the end of my part 2 of the new wave of British death metal. Let me know what you think below, what bands I should feature in my next one. I've already got a list a mile long, but it'd be cool to hear what other people's opinions are, what I'm not talking about. And if you are a UK death metal band I'm not aware of, let me know, because I'll always check out new bands. That's the whole point of doing this whole YouTube channel in the first place, is kind of talk about music and, you know, kind of spread the word of bands maybe people aren't talking about that I think people should. So please leave a like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Cheers!